Night PNG. I'm your host Robin Aki, and welcome to another episode of Coca-Cola Sports News. On tonight's show, we will be looking at about Amateur Boxing Association International Fight Night. We catch up with Guyan Loku, Game Development Manager for Cricket PNG, and review the Orolay FC match held in Port Moresby. We also have an interview with the visiting Black Orchids coach on the Rugby Union program on Bougainville and how it has benefited his people. Well, without any further ado, let's take a look at all the weekend actions.
Stingers continue their good form in the women's B grade, running home on 4 occasions by the bottom of the second innings. Georgina Okola running off good fielding and cover from her teammates with excellent pitching. Cricket PNG Development Manager Guyan Loku was excited with the prospect of teams in the southern region participating in the Air New Guinea National Championships. Port Moresby International School were up against the fast and talented autonomous region of Bougainville in the Women's National Provincial Sevens competition at Bravo Park. This comes after the PNG RFU announced Elena Kunatuba as new Pele's coach. Kunatuba, a former Fijian rugby player and coach, brings with her a wealth of knowledge and experience. Bank South Pacific launched the 2014 PNG Junior Golf Program. With 200,000 kina in sponsorship, the PNG Golf Association is set to embark on an ambitious medal target in 2015. National Development Coach Graham Bolton was happy with the sponsorship and said it'll go a long way in developing talent.
It's one thing to run a junior program, but then you've got to have all the equipment, all the golf clubs and the golf balls and shirts and hats to then make that junior program happen. So it gives us so much more than what we had before, and I can't thank BSD Bank enough for helping us.
And finally, it was Fight Night at Crown Plaza in downtown Port Moresby as the ABAO Amateur Boxing Association hosted a glitzy event with international fighters coming in to take on our homegrown talent. The competition saw 2 local and 3 international bouts, the main bout being between 16-year-old Beipu Noki from PNG and 15-year-old Bryce Hansen from Queensland, Australia.
Jeremy Mogi there with our weekend sporting briefs. We'll go for our first break, so stick around. You're watching Coca-Cola Sports Team. Welcome back to the show. Cricket PNG achieved a milestone with the country now being given one-day international status after strong performances in recent matches, most notably the World Cup qualifiers in New Zealand. Because of that, or perhaps in spite of it, Cricket PNG is now embarking on expanding the game to other parts of the country, and on March the 4th, the Air New Guinea National Regional Championships will be held in Port Moresby with 6 teams taking part in a T20 tournament. Guyan Loku, the Game Development Manager for cricket, was very enthusiastic about the tournament.
The aim of the tournament is to give the best cricketers from the outer centres an opportunity to represent their respective regions and zones. Cricket PNG is hoping to identify some new talent in this competition who can then participate in the Hebo Shield, which is the elite national championships. Cricket PNG's Game Development Manager, Mr. Guyan Loku, was pleased to see the interest in cricket growing around the country.
Yes, the Air New Guinea National Regional Championship, which will be held from the 6th to the 9th of March, where 6 teams from all around the country will be coming down to participate in a T20 competition. The matches will be played at Colts ground, at the Amini Park Sports Complex, as well as the Rules ground as well.
Now, how important is the regional titles considering PNG's new ODI status?
I think the Air New Guinea National Regional Championships is important in the development of cricketers around the country. With the success of the Barramundis and the Garamuts and the Lewas, we need to get more players still playing cricket. This competition, having 6 teams from all around the country coming together, gives us an opportunity, us Cricket PNG, to see the talent out there. Maybe we can we can find a new Asad Vala or a Willie Gavera in the Highlands or in Millen Bay. That's what we're looking at. And it also gives an opportunity to these players from the other regions to represent their region or their zone in particular in a competition.
Will the members of the Barramundis, the current Barramundis, will the members be involved in this program as well?
So the Barramundis will be training next week in preparation for their tour overseas. But some of the Barramundis, like Chris Amini, the captain, Jack Vary, the vice captain, Asad Vala, all work for Cricket PNG at the moment. So they'll be heavily involved in the running of the tournament next week. So having their presence is important. Giving players from these other regions that have heard of Chris or Asad or Jack in the paper or on TV an opportunity to have a chat with them, and hopefully I'm sure these boys will give them some tips on if they want to represent their country one day and what needs to be done.
Now, apart from the boys, what about the Lewas? Will there be any female competitions coming up as well?
Unfortunately, this is just the Air Niugini the National Regional Championship is only for men's this year. ICC EAP Women's Trophy, which will take place in May. So there will be lead-up tournaments per se, but this competition is at the moment just open for men's in these regions.
While the tournament is meant to be held every year that the PNG Games are not being held, Cricket PNG had to postpone the tournament from late 2013 to March 2014. Teams outside NCD are set to arrive into Port Moresby on Tuesday, March 4.
Guy and Loku there. Oro FC were looking to put last weekend's disappointing loss to Hekari to rest when they welcomed Lay FC to town. Lay, who have had strong performances and who have been improving, brought with them a high degree of entertainment as well. Jeremy Mogi was at Telecom Bissini Soccer Park.
Lay took off from there, imposing their physical dominance over their pom-based rivals, and at times, Oro struggled to match. Oro's left flank was kept busy, Charles Paranda offering the much-needed spark from the side, but high crosses and poor finishing meant Lay keeper Ronald Warissa was barely troubled. Normally quiet, Oro's assistant coach Matthew Wutu was constantly barking instructions. Oro began to slow the tempo of the match to suit their style, but losing possession in their own defensive third was not helping their cause.
United, Esperanto Mas, winning Leicester.
Gigira Laitepemorobe had a highly entertaining draw with Admiralty and league leaders Hackery beat Besta FC 3 points to 1. We'll go for a break, and coming up next, Ricky Berua and the Abel Amateur Boxing Association International Fight Night. You're watching Coca-Cola Sports Scene. Welcome back. Abel Amateur Boxing hosted its first ever international fight night at the Crown Plaza Hotel. The night featured international and local bouts as PNG boys took the Australians on. Let's take a look. To start off the night of entertainment, few guests and corporate sponsors were welcomed, including was Honourable Kila Hauda, Governor of Central Province. Many thanks were given to corporate sponsors, including the major sponsor, Hawix. After the speeches, a comedian group called the Watete gave the night while the first bout of fighters were getting ready to enter the ring. After the Watete entertainment, the first two local bouts started. As boxing started, food and drinks were served to keep the night live. Straight after the two local bouts, backed by popular demand, the Watete fighters were back on stage again. In the end, it was draw 2-2. Straight after the entertainment fight, the international bout started. This bout saw PNG's Punoki, Henry Umings and Tom Boga go fist to fist in the ring against their Australian opponents Bryce Hanson, Papa Utia and Isaiah Farr. The first international bout saw PNG's Henry Umings take on Papa Utia in the ring as they both went fist to fist at each other. With good blocks and hits from Henry in the third round, left Papa miserable. After the judges' split-second decision, Henry in the blue corner won the first international bout in the 56 kilo division.
In the blue corner, Henry Ewing.
The second bout saw Isaiah Farr from Brisbane take on PNG's Tom Boga. These two took time in punching each other's way around. But the judges made a split-second decision and Isaiah in the red corner won the second international bout.
From Howitz, and to the winner, Isaiah Farr. Congratulations.
The final and main bout of the night, the third bout, was between 15-year-old Bryce Hanson from Brisbane, Australia, fought on stage with PNG's Punoki from Abau district of Central Province. It was a very tough match as the two battled in the ring. They both tried using every technique they had in the last round. It was a tough decision, but for the judges, there needed to be a winner. 15-year-old Bryce Hanson was the star of the night as he took home the big trophy.
Henry Ewing, Papa Utai, Tom Bahia.
Ricky Berua was very enthusiastic and was quite pleased with the performances of his boxers.
Very good. I expected a good result to happen tonight, which did happen, and I'm very appreciated with all the boxers who performed tonight. Well done.
After the match, it was a night to remember. Fans gathered to take photos of their heroes. Friends and family cheered as they smiled and greeted and congratulated each other. Australia walked away with 2 wins, leaving PNG with just 1 win out of 3.
Competitions coming up in Australia? Yeah, it's probably like heaps more, probably about every second week fighting.
Well, what do you guys think about Papua New Guinea and the competition tonight?
Yeah, it's really good.
It's fun.
Yeah. About Amateur Boxing Association there. We'll go for our last break. Coming up, we have the Women's National Provincial Championships, Rugby Union, and we interview Kelly Havara, coach of Black Orchids men and women. See you after the break. Bava Park hosted the 2-day Women's National Provincial Championship featuring teams from Lai Medang, Bougainville and a combined Highlands women's team all took part. Let's take a look.
The Monia Rugby Park came alive to host the first ever Women's Sevens National Provincial Championships in Port Moresby on the weekend. A total of 12 teams took to the field despite the dull forecast in the nation's capital. The 2-day tournament saw teams from Medang, a combined Highlands Momasa team, Steamship's group of companies, and the Black Orchids from the autonomous region of Bougainville. Schoolgirls in the nation's capital also took part. Pomis and St. Joseph's Catholic College hitting it out as well. Kelly Havara, coach for the Black Orchids, was happy with bringing a women's team to be part of rugby history in Papua New Guinea.
Well, PAU Labuka started off last year. Last, I think 5 months ago, I started now. This year I'm going to second year belong. I got 9 plus schools running this program of Bougainville. I got 2 plus secondary school, na 7 plus primary schools. So interest, yeah, I mean high stress lo, especially all students lo me take part na. Now, we bring him a first ever girls rugby union team. Bougainville come out lo province through this program. I think you got all big major centers also take part this land also big tasol hub representing PNG Palais. I think you should give him more opportunity. PNG RFU should expand more all this all areas provincially play rugby union and try to come up with something for development help him scouting more all good talents. I think one time this NPC, I think it's been a while, long time threat now it's all starting back. Me believe this through this program, I mean this NPC now, Boli pick him some all talents.
The teams departed today accompanied by the teachers. The Black Orchids men's team are currently in Port Moresby gearing up for another Sevens tournament this weekend.
If you have any sports related stories or would like us to cover your sports or featured stories, please send us an email to sportscene@mtv.com.pg. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Like our page or tune into Hotspot this Thursday night for all your latest sporting events in and around the country. Well, as always, viewers, please grab yourself a nice cold Coca-Cola can or bottle and satisfy your thirst. Until next week, right here, same time, same place on Coca-Cola Sports Scene, I'm Godwin Aki. Bye for now.